Good afternoon, welcome back to the Mindful Model Makers Workshop. What I'm doing today for the first bit is I'm getting on with my Barrett steam loco, and it's an 060 GER, Great Eastern Railways 060 tank loco, or you could call it a J65 tank loco. That's it on there. I have built the basic chassis, put the cylinders in, and now I'm doing basically like the footplate bit. So there was a modification, so I haven't drilled these holes wrong here. What that is I think where they had these laser cut brass bits done, there was obviously an error. So they give you a little bit of paper that I actually glued it on, like they said, glue it on and basically drill through, and you have to file because it makes the holes a bit on the elliptical side. And what that is basically is the steam in, steam out. So the steam from the boiler coming up through the smoke box, and then the return steam coming through from the cylinder back up through the chimney. So that's why them holes are modified. And of course there's other little holes next to it, and the reason for them is obviously they hold the smoke box on. So what I did, because the smoke box came with only one hole in as well, so there was only room for the steam in but not the steam out. So what I did, I drilled the holes, fixed the smoke box to it, then on the underside through these holes I could scribe where the hole had to go. Done that, then drilled through the bottom of the smoke box and produced the other hole for the exhaust. So that's it. So yeah, a lot of these kits are never perfect. You know, they're not exactly take out the box and build. They're not far off, but they're not exactly that. So I've had to do lots of modifications. That one that you knew about anyway, and a few other bits and pieces. So it's a bit of a slow thing, but I don't want to build it fast anyway, so I usually have a little rest in between. Right, what I've done now, these are the actual side bits with the steps on, and they will go on this side actually, I believe. Do they go? Yeah, they go that side. Okay, so they will go on the side like so. So they go on the side of the running board, and you'll get the steps hanging down. Now what you have to do, it comes as a flat piece on a big sheet. You nibble them out. So I use a pair of side cutters, a little bit like you would use for a model kit. They don't have to be that sharp, because they're not very big bits that hold it on. And then just rub them over with a file to get rid of them. Then I've made up my own bending tool. So in order to bend that properly and accurately, you put it in between the two bits of aluminium, bring it down to the line that you want, tighten the vise up, just put it in like this, now you can get it. It needs a bit of adjustment, so what you do is you kind of get it in, tighten it a little bit, and then you can move it about until you've got it to where you want. Then once you've got it to where you want, push that down on the vise like so, tighten up, and then I can fold that over to where it goes. And you fold it over. Best thing to do, I had a little block of wood that's going along, so it was in there. It was like that, bent it over, and then just go along with the piece of wood to just flatten the brass. You don't want to do it with a hammer in just small pieces, because you'll end up with kind of lines. So take it over very gradually. Take your time, there is no rush. It's better, because if you mess this up, you've got to get another one. So there we are. Right. All the drill holes have been drilled on here to the sides. So you do get a choice. You can nut and bolt it together. If you nut and bolt it, then all you do is have a clearance hole on the top, clearance hole on the bottom, put the bolt through, and then nut it up. But you've got to line it up and try and do all the nuts underneath and everything else. The other option is to have the clearance hole on the top, countersink it, so that the head of the screw sits down level, and on the bottom piece that's fixing on it, drill a smaller hole and tap that 10BA, which is what I've done, because otherwise you're going to have nuts and bolts all over the place and it gets very fiddly, because don't forget these are very small nuts and bolts to fit together. And it looks a bit more professional doing it that way. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to reuse this jig if I can. I'm not sure if I can or not, to hold that and put it together. I might just try getting a screw and putting through. I'm not sure how it's going to go, but you end up inventing all sorts of ways of doing things when you're doing this, because things don't always go exactly as planned. Right, so anyway, that's where we are on this at the moment. So I'll get to my box of screws. That's the phone cover. I've got bits all over the place here. So countersunk screws, I have lots of them there. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop a countersunk screw through the hole. Even that's not easy. Right, so just getting hold of these things it is actually. Right, it's not going through that hole very easily. The reason is because I've countersunk it and it may have closed the hole up a little bit. Not sure. Now, that's not going in that very easily. See, so it just shows you what you come up against. So then the next thing to do is find your little fine file. So remove that there, remove that there, take that screw and put it on the table there, and move this. Right, have a hunt around now to see if that is adrift. Don't know if I've used my round file since we went away, so it might be in the box down there. So have a look now. Yes, I have it here. Right, so round file, just put it in. Give it a little turn and see what that does. I think that should do the trick. It does. Right, so the screw goes down and sits like that. Right, now the next bit is to get that back again and find out it's this one that's going to go in here. So you can feel it locating with that now. So I'm going to push that up a little bit like so. See the hole there. So once I think you've got a couple of these in, you'll probably be cooking on gas. I'm not sure yet. They are very small. Like I say, this is not the easiest thing to do. So, but I wouldn't be put off building one. Because you do, even if it doesn't work first time, then you will get there. So. I'm trying to get this so you can see what I'm struggling at doing at the moment. This is why these things take a long time to build. I'm sure there's engineers out there saying, no, no, don't do it like that, do it like that. But, well. That's it, I think we are there. It looks a very cumbersome thing to do, but it's there. Then get your screwdriver, put it in the screw. Twiddle it round. I'm not sure. That should be right. Well, it's got it, that's the main thing. That's what I can't do, is get that in the screw very well. So let's try again. I'll just nip in that screw. Right, so that's in there now, like so. So that's what you're going to achieve. I'll bring it forward so you can see that that's there. So you can see along the top that I've countersunk it. The light, by the way, that's shining there's no additional light. It must be off the phone itself, so I don't know where that's coming from. But anyway, that's that. So what I'm going to do now, before I go any further, is to just pop the file through, just give it a couple of little turns inside each hole, just to open them up a little bit. It's where I filed the other side of it, because where you drill through with the countersink bit, it kind of burrs it over. So just by twiddling that's the file. It's like a needle file, lovely set of files, had them a long time, and you do all sorts of things with them, so they're very handy to have. I don't think you could do this kind of job without anything like that. So I'll move that one up out of the way and then do that one now. Right, so that's that bit there. Then what I think I'll do, I'll have a look. It all seems to line up pretty well actually. So, yeah. I think what we'll do now is get another screw from the box. So what I do, I keep all the screws in the bottom of a box, a wooden box. And the reason is, well, I'm not going to lose them, am I? I drop them on the floor occasionally, but because of the colour of them I can see them. It's very annoying to do, but I think we've actually succeeded in getting that going. But yeah, I mean, I am enjoying this. As time goes on, I'm enjoying it more. I've had problems with getting the cylinder to run, but what I realise is that it's no good trying to run it along the track by just pushing the wheels round, because in real life the wheels don't make the cylinder go up and down, it's the cylinder that makes the wheels go round. So what I do then is I grab the wheels and turn them to get the cylinder to work properly, and it's beginning to loosen up. Really want to get some air into it, but I think it needs quite a bit of air. I don't think, and I haven't really got anything here. I've got a compressor, but I haven't got any means of storing air to build up the pressure. But that's what I need to do to get that done. So we are now just nipping that screw up in there. So now the steps are attached right the way along. All the other holes there, they appear more or less in line with it. So from that point of view, and then from underneath, that's what it looks like underneath, okay, with the screws and bits on there. So that's it. So all I'm going to do now, I'm going to go all the way along, screw the rest of them in. There is another step that goes in the middle of that, and all that does is slide through, bends over, and it's a replica of that step that's there, but slightly smaller. And then you can either araldite, super glue, which super glue I don't like too much on stuff like this. Araldite is reasonable, or a little blob of solder. I think I'm going to try soldering them on. So I'll see how I get on, and if I get on alright I'll show you. If I don't get on alright I won't. But anyway, no. Well, I will have a go at soldering them, because things like that, you don't want to build this and then, you know, a year down the line things start dropping off. So like this, it's all nut and bolted. I know it's there. If I've got to take it to bits, well, I know I can take it to bits quite easily. But anyway, that's that stage of it. So yeah, I know it looks a bit messy there with the modification, but you're not going to see none of that, because the smoke box sits on top of that, where I put the hole in it. Just looking through the box, here we are. So you can see there where I've had to drill a hole underneath. The tapered one in the centre is in line with the chimney, which used to go up into a thing called a petticoat pipe, and the other one is where the actual steam inlet goes. So that's where the steam from the boiler connects up in there. So the pipe comes out of the boiler and it will meet the one coming up from the cylinder inside the smoke box, join them together, and then it goes all through its motions, and then the steam returns back out and up the chimney. So there we are, and that fits on there like so. Okay, so that will make that's what the loco is beginning to look like. So we're getting there slowly but surely. Okay, and I think it's best to take your time and just do it like that. Now later on, I'll just show you what I'm going to do later on, is I have now, with these PS models wagons, I have made them look used, as I said in my last video. So I've dirtied them up, just sprayed them with an airbrush. I made a video showing doing that, and all they need now is the axles cutting, the wheels putting on, and then the little copper bits that go in the ends, which will make the coupling. So there's 4 of these, slightly different on some of the where I've dirtied them up, because they wouldn't all be the same anyway. So there we are. So there's 4 more wagons that will join the fleet on the Garden Railway. Okay, so that's something that I'm working on. I usually have 2 or 3 projects running at the same time. So if you get a little bit bored with one thing, or you're waiting for something to dry, you can leave that and go on and do something else. So, but the brass loco, I am enjoying it. It has caused me a bit of stress from time to time. When you look at things, you think, oh crikey, that's not right, or whatever. And then as you go, you find that, yeah, it's not too bad. So I'm just levelling bits and pieces up. So that's more level that side than that side. So yeah. So we're getting there. So you have to do little tweaks as you go on various little bits, but that's what engineering is. It's fitting. You know, you're fitting 2 parts together. There we are. Just take your time. Keep everything nice and smooth and flat. That is the secret with this. You don't want to go trying to bang that over. If you try and bang that over in series like that all the way along, you'll end up with lines, and you'll have a job to take them out. But if you do it with a piece of wood and just gently do a little bit of it and then a little bit of it, that's over a larger area, and you'll get a nice clean bend, which is what you're after. You can't really do it with your fingers accurately enough. You need it in this, and the cheapest bending tool is to go to B&Q, buy yourself a piece of aluminium. I think it was just under £10. Piece of aluminium, cut it to about the size you want. I've still got a bit left, and then use them. They're just like extensions to your vice, like vice jaws they are. But you put them in there, and that's the best way to bend. You can buy benders if you want to buy bending tools, then, you know, but if you haven't got the money, or you don't really need to spend a lot of money, this is a simple way of bending something and getting it clean, because you'll get the nice right angle as you bend that over. All right, so I hope that's been of some help. So if you want to carry on watching the build of this loco, the build of all the other bits and pieces, then please subscribe. It is free. Just subscribe. If you click the bell, then also every time a new video comes out, you can see the new video and follow what I do. As you probably see through, or if you do watch some of my stuff, I don't always continue with the same thing all the time, but I will come back to it some point. So there's over 500 odd videos on my site now, going from Airfix bits and pieces to all sorts. Hornby free rail. I've just purchased some more free rail stuff. So my plan is to get myself and build a board with that on, looking like it did when it all first came out, and paint it, the board, in the colours, because I just want to get my workshop cleared out a little bit more so that I can slide the board in here and just put it out on 2 trestles. I've actually got to working proper old-fashioned Hornby free rail transformer now that works, and that's what I wanted to use to control the locos. I didn't want a modern one. I wanted an old-fashioned one, the proper one that does the job. So anyway, yeah, please subscribe, and if you've got any comments, please put them in. Ask questions, whatever you want to do about anything. If I don't know the answer, I will just say, I will reply and just say, look, I'm really sorry, I haven't got a clue about that, or whatever, or I'll try and find out for you. So, yeah, you can have great fun doing all these things. You can just sit there for an hour, go away, get on with something else, come back, have another hour, just chill out. That's what I do. So I'm not in here every day doing this, but when I do, I come home from work, have a little sit down, then come out and do an hour, and might go off and do something else, and then come back again later. But that's it. It's a hobby. Make the hobby become relaxing and enjoyable. That's what you should be doing. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.